Hello everyone, welcome to QuintEdge. In this video, I am going to talk about one of the most requested topics of all time, that is how much I can earn after completing FRM in India. And I'll be also answering what if you complete FRM part 1, how much salary you can expect, and I'm going to give you a number. Most of the time I have noticed students just want a number that I'll be able to make this much. Though before starting this video, let me give you a disclaimer. Your salary will really vary upon what kind of skill set you have along with your FRM designation. So it is a really function of multiple things. But if you want me to give out some average number, I'll be doing that. Okay. So I've created this video after going through a list of almost 50 companies, have segregated them into industry, and then have created this video. So this is going to be a very detailed video. Do watch it till end. So first of all, before starting or jumping into this video, let me give you the context for this video. This is what we are going to discuss in this video. Firstly, types of risk that needs to be managed. So this will help you to understand what kind of work you will be doing, what kind of skill set you need, and in return, how much you will be earning. Then we'll be learning about industry and its primary exposure to risk. So which kind of industry is exposed to which kind of risk. So there are 4 kinds of risk basically that needs to be managed: liquidity, operational, credit, and market. Which kind of risk management earns you the most, right? Now let us move ahead and see the third point: range of salary earned by risk analyst in India. This is really important. See, I'm not going to tell you how much you can earn 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, because it's really difficult for me to say what kind of professional you will be. But how much you can earn in the very first year, second year of your career, this video is dedicated towards that. Now this is as per company, and the last point, range of salary earned by risk analyst in India as per industry. So this is going to be industry specific. This video will also help you to understand which industry you should be targeting for maximum amount of salary. Okay. So let us move ahead. And firstly, let's talk about types of risk that organization faces. So there are 2 kinds of risk: financial and non-financial. Our designation is called as financial risk manager. So non-financial risk, that could be again subclassified into operational, political, legal, and regulatory risk. Political and legal and regulatory risk is beyond the control of organization, though you can take some measures to mitigate it. Operational risk is a focus of curriculum, but more focus is on liquidity risk, market risk, credit risk. And this is more or less non-financial in nature. So this is something that you will be not very rewarded with in your career. This is where reward lies in. And that's why our designation financial risk manager. Right? Financial risk can again be divided into 3 parts: business and strategy risk, commercial risk, market risk. Business and strategy risk, FRM is not the course for it. It is generally taken care by consultants. So like McKinsey, BCG, Bain, where I work in, we take care of this thing: business and strategy risk. Then you have commercial risk and then market risk. Within commercial risk, you have again credit risk and liquidity risk. Liquidity risk can again be divided into 2 parts: funding liquidity and market liquidity. So funding liquidity basically means whenever you need funds, there is lack of those funds. So you don't have enough funds. Banks generally face funding liquidity. And market liquidity, that is, you want to square off your position, but there is no enough liquidity in the market. So when you are trying to square off your position, the price is moving against you. That is known as market liquidity. Then you have commercial risk. Within commercial risk, credit risk. Credit risk again can be divided into 4 points: default, bankruptcy, downgrade, and settlement. Default risk, basically not receiving money on time. Then bankruptcy risk, the person to whom you have given the loan may become bankrupt. So default risk, bankruptcy risk are interrelated. Then downgrade risk, so you gave a loan to a person with a CIBIL score of say 780, but over the tenure of loan, his CIBIL score became like low, and now it is in range of say 650. So this is known as downgrade risk. That is, you gave loan to a financially healthy party, but over the course of that loan, over the course of period, the financial condition of that party have deteriorated because of n number of reasons. Then you have settlement risk. That is, at the time of settlement, the counterparty will not be able to settle. So that is known as settlement risk. Okay. And then you have market risk. So there are 5 kinds of financial markets: equity, fixed income, commodity, derivatives. So, and the last one is crypto. Crypto is not covered over here. So four kinds of risk we have here in market risk: interest risk, equity, forex, and commodity. So the price moving against your position is known as that kind of risk. So if taken say position in bonds, interest rate moves against you, interest rate risk. You have taken position in say equity, prices move against you, equity risk, and so on so forth. Okay, so this is where you should be focusing, because our curriculum also majorly focuses here. Though there is one module on operational risk in part 2, but most of the things that you see in curriculum is covered in commercial risk and market risk. So you should be also focusing on these two aspects of risk management to make bright career. Now let us move ahead and talk about industry and its primary exposure to risk. So these are the industries in which you will be broadly working: banks, investment banks, asset management companies, consultancy firms, hedge funds, insurance company, credit rating agency, and government and regulatory organization. And I've classified this into four kinds of risk. So market, credit, liquidity, and operational. Just broadly see this, you will see scope of operational risk is the least, right? So majorly it is required when you work in banks. It is also required when you act as a consultant, because you should have knowledge of all the kinds of risk when you are giving advice to someone else. But broadly operational risk, as an FRM, your scope is very limited. But if you see over here, market risk, credit risk have the widest of scope. So there is high probability after clearing your FRM exams, you will be working in these two domains, and these are the most rewarding one also. So market risk, any kind of firm that makes investment have this market risk. Credit risk, especially faced by banks, consultants should have knowledge of all kinds of risk. So credit risk is one of them. Investment banks and hedge funds, insurance company, credit rating agency, all of these also have credit risk. For example, investment banks typically deal with a part of credit risk called as counterparty risk. The same applies with insurance company. Insurance company also have something called as counterparty risk. That's a subset of credit risk. So counterparty risk basically means the party with whom you have entered into the contract will not be able to satisfy the terms of contract. That is known as counterparty risk. So just one thing if you want to take from this chart is the widest scope, the maximum number of jobs is in market risk and credit risk. If you want to create a specialization, a very niche for yourself, liquidity is also something that you can focus. Banks generally have this liquidity risk. As a consultant, you should always be having knowledge about any kind of risk. Liquidity is one of them. And if you work in government organization like say RBI, in that kind of organization, you need knowledge of liquidity risk also. Okay. So market risk, credit risk is something that you should be focusing on. Now let us move ahead and let me give you a broad range of salary that you can expect while working in the very first, second year of your career. That is when you start as a risk analyst. Okay. So this is the broad range. On lower side, it is 3.5 lakh rupees. On higher side, it is around 22 lakh rupees. So now you might be asking, is this for part 1, part 2 clear candidate, or only part 1 clear candidate, or is it for someone who is experienced? So it's not for someone who is really experienced, maybe 1-2 year of experience, that's enough. You are analyst, so a very basic level of experience, right? 1-2 years into the industry. If you ask me how much I would be earning just after clearing part 1, so you can draw a virtual line in center, something like this. So after clearing FRM part 1, on lower side 3.5 lakhs, on higher side around 8ish, 9ish lakh rupees. After clearing both the parts, on lower side say 8ish, 9ish lakh rupees, all the way to 22 lakh rupees. And these are the companies. You can pause the video and see which companies on an average paying how much. You can pause and see. But I have also classified this data into industry wise, and this is where it gets really interesting. So range of salary earned by a risk analyst in India as per industry. So I've divided industry, like it's not typical classification of industry. Whatever I think is best for me to convey my message that in which industry you should be working, I've used that classification. So if you work in Big 4, generally people after clearing part 1, maybe after clearing part 2 with no experience start working here. So on lower side they are paid around 4 lakh rupees. On higher side they are paid around 5.5 lakh rupees. Median salary is 4.5 lakh rupees. If you work in Big 4s, it contains EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC. Okay. Now if you work in Indian banks, you should clear FRM part 1 as well as part 2 exams. So if you work in Indian banks, ICICI, HDFC, Axis, Bajaj Finance, it includes NBFCs also. So median pay is around 11.5 lakh rupees. So Indian banks are paying really well to FRMs, right? Now let us move ahead And let's talk about international banks, and this is where you should be targeting. International bank like American Express, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan, Deutsche, HSBC, Citi, BY Mellon, UBS, Morgan Stanley, ANZ, Barclays, all of them are paying really well. On higher side, you can say they are paying around 17-18 lakh rupees. On lower side, you can see around 8-9 lakh rupees. Median is around 12.5 lakhs, 13 lakh rupees. So this is where you should be targeting to ultimately move, if not in the very beginning of your career. Okay, international banks are paying really well. This should be on our target. Then you have asset management companies. So Goldman, BlackRock, Nomura, you can see they are paying even more than international banks. So median pay is around 19 lakh rupees. You will see highest is around 21 lakh rupees, lowest is around 14 lakh rupees, median is coming around 19 lakh rupees. So asset management companies, if you get into FRM, asset management company is the first preference. Then second one could be international banks. Then if you work in tech-enabled firm, like say Amazon, PayPal, Rapido, Noon, Zest Money, Razorpay, Paytm, pay is not that much. It's good exposure to have initially. Pays around 4 lakh rupees. So tech-enabled firm generally pay the least amount of money, even lesser than Big Four. So just to gain some experience initially, yes, you can work here, but ultimately you should be trying to move into risk management, into say asset management company or international banks. Then you have consultancy firm. They also pay okayish amount. Genpact, Accenture, TCS, Exceedance, RMS. Median is coming around 7 lakh rupees. So they pay okayish, not too good, not too bad. So if you clear both the parts, FRM part 1, part 2, with say 6 months of experience, 1 year of experience, you would be earning somewhere around this much. Then you have other companies. So anything that couldn't be classified in my data point, I've classified here as others. So CRISIL, Excel Dynamics, insurance companies like AIG, Aon. On median, they are paying around 8 lakh rupees, 9 lakh rupees. But it's a really wide range. On lower side 5 lakh, on higher side around 9.5 lakh rupees. This is broadly how much you are earning. Okay. So where you should be targeting to work. Say if your first preference should be working in say asset management companies, second preference should be working in say international banks, and third preference should be working in Indian banks. Other firms, you can work there for gaining some experience, but ultimately you should be trying to move in these firms. Okay, so this is how you should be planning your FRM career growth in the first few years. Where you can reach ultimately, it's very difficult for me to tell, but it's something that you will decide based upon your experience, your skills, and even luck, right? So that's it for this video. In case you have any doubts regarding FRM salary in India, feel free to reach us in the comment section below. We have policy of 100% doubt resolution. In case you have any doubts, do reach us. Till next time, bye-bye. See you in the next video. Ta-da.